Nearly 4 years after the Highlands Act was signed into law, the commission in charge of land use in that region has approved a master plan to guide future development. Today's vote comes as the commission also considered a number of amendments. Environment correspondent Ed Rogers has the story.
Before voting on the final master plan, 11 amendments were introduced. Most of the changes were offered by environmentalists on the Highlands Council, who are seeking changes to what they believe are flaws in the plan. The goal of the Highlands Act is to protect key watershed areas in the 860,000-acre region in the northwest part of the state. One of the amendments would expand the use of 300-foot buffers around streams so that any future development would not deteriorate water quality.
The goal of the act and of the plan should be to restore and to enhance those areas where there are impairments in the buffer, not to use the disturbance as an opportunity to further reduce the buffer beyond or below the standard that we've, through our science, determined to be appropriate.
One of the amendments would prohibit or curb development in watershed areas that are in a supply deficit. More than half the watershed areas in the Highlands now meet that standard. The state's farming community opposes the plan, saying the state has not followed through with money to compensate landowners whose property values will drop, and that one of today's amendments setting a stricter standard for nitrates in surface water will make undeveloped land unattractive for future development.
That's something that we, see as a layer on top of layers and layers that's just going to really just be overkill for us. And that is, those two issues, the funding and this nitrate level thing, have really popped up in the foreground as our major dissatisfaction with the plan.
The council also came under criticism for adding the amendments on the same day the panel was scheduled to vote on the entire master plan.
Quite honestly, if this was a planning board in a municipality, amendments 1 week before an adoption of a plan would not be accepted.
We have a 400-page document. The council is in agreement on 95% of that document, and we're not a Quaker meeting, for better or worse, and we didn't come to a consensus ahead of time on every issue.
Sources say the Corzine administration has been working behind the scenes to get the amendments approved by the council. Environmentalists say they will ask the governor to veto the master plan if the amendments are not included.
You're not supposed to be a glorified zoning board, as one of you talked about wanting to be, this council to be, at an earlier council meeting.
Late today, the council approved the entire Highlands master plan by a 9-5 vote, but failed to adopt several of the amendments, including the measures that would have increased stream buffers and set a stricter nitrate level. Ed Rogers, NJN News, Morristown.